Hello, hello! Happy afternoon. It is August 8th. That means it's the release of Kill Team Exodite. So we're going to get right into it. For this is your first unboxing hobby stream on my channel. Basically, I'm going to go maybe about 45 minutes to an hour going through the stuff. And then we'll switch over to hobby mode and I'll get working on building. Obviously, building the Exodite Kill Team first. All the MPOs will probably be done later, if ever at this rate. But also, a new addition is the stupid cringe pointing finger. I'm sure you've seen this all over the internet. This will be our pointing aid today. So, if you were unaware, Kill Team Exodite is a Kill Team expansion that features Exodite Dragon Masters and some Orc Beast Snag MPOs. So I'll flip the box over here. So I have to deploy the cringe finger. So yeah, we got our Exodite Dragon Masters Kill Team. Now, to be note, the instructions in here are for both the 40k version and the Kill Team version. However, there's only rules for the Kill Team. So if you build any of the, I think they're called Dragon Lancers, you can't use them in Kill Team. And obviously for MPOs, for the co-op mode for Kill Team, we got some Squighog boys and we got some Beast Snagga boys. And on the side over here, let's shift over a little bit. So the full box contents, we got the dossier, which is going to be really fun. I was probably going to spend extra time going through this because this is probably going to be the most interesting part of this release. The assembly guide, token sheets, the Dragon Master's transfer sheet. Going to be really awesome to see this because I want to see what the Exodite clan transfers look like. Orc clan's transfer sheet, I think it's the classic one you get in every single Orc kit, basically. And then for the Kill Team card packs, obviously we've got the Exodite Dragon Master data cards, Orc MPO data cards, Exodite Encounter cards, and Orc event cards. Now, this campaign is actually double length compared to most of the other campaigns we've gotten so far for the Kill Team co-op releases, which is going to be really cool to see what that looks like. And then the miniatures, so you got your Exodite Dragon Masters Kill Team, Beast Snagga boys, and Squighog boys. So we'll flip over. Oh, actually, while I'm down here, I'll I'll slice the packaging right here. Now this is sealed, so hopefully I didn't open it beforehand to check and see if everything made it in one piece, but usually things are good, especially with how they're packaging things now. Before I've had issues with like damaged sprues or dinged books, but the way they package things, I've had basically no issues, I think, for the past year or so for Kill Team releases. So we'll flip it over. Now the lid's cut. And pull this up. Apologies if it's a bit dark. So I have an overhead lamp that I use for the building and painting, but everything is so reflective in this box. When I turn it on, it makes a massive halo and reflects into my face. So not really optimal. When we go to hobby mode, we'll switch back over to it. I think maybe I can try turning it on for going through the book, but I suspect that it's going to be probably the same issue. So yeah, we got the first of the Eldari Dragon Master sprues over here. And see, this is the lance for the Dragon Lancers. So it looks like it's 3 sprues. Yeah, so 3 sprues for the Exodites. I'll split these off for easy storage over here. And got our, I guess this is the Beast Snagga boss. I don't play orcs, so yeah, so this is the Squighog boys and Beast boss. Not Beast Top, Beast boss. Beast Squigger Brighter guy. I don't know. The things that are on the squigs and the Beast Snagga boys. So this is the rest of the miniatures. Move these over here. My detour. I still got to finish the gaunts from Terror on Devland. It's gonna be a pretty quick project, I think, but it's just I'm a bit behind on my MPOs, so I'll hopefully these will paint pretty quick. They're orcs. I have no issues painting orcs very fast. So that's the plan here, and we will flip back over. So this is the cover. Split out the sprues. So this is what I mean with the packaging now. So every single box has had this kind of folder container, which keeps everything basically secure so it doesn't jiggle around. And that's what kind of would dent the books on previous releases, with that they just jiggle around the box and they would get dinged on the sides. But everything is packed super tight. I love how they do this. And I think in the inside has a little image too, so it's nice. So well, as I pull this off, I gotta get the bases and the transfer sheets over here. So this is the new transfer sheet. Put this on the side over here. You can see all the runes. So yeah, so they have the 6 named Exodite clan. So I still haven't decided what I want to do for my Exodite clan painting scheme yet, but just seeing these cool runes is very awesome. Looking forward to putting these on some miniatures. And this is just the classic, 2021, so the 9th edition orc re-release transfer sheets for the orcs and the bases. So a lot of big ones, but if I remember correctly, it should be 375s for the Exodites and then 28s for the Dracolites, which I don't see in here. Kind of weird if I lost a 28 mil base somehow. Interesting. Might be under something? This is like... It'd be really funny if I'm... Oh, wait, it's under here. No, it's not. I was doing a clamshell thing, but... Is it in here? No, this is just like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7... Yeah, it's just for the Beast Boys. Interesting. Yeah, it didn't get stuck to any of the bases, so I guess I'm down. No, wait, because they're supposed to be on 32. So what is this for? A squig? I guess there's a squig on the MPO's team. Okay, never mind. I'm going crazy. But that's the bases. Bases. Well, lost focus for a second there. Back into it. There we go. Okay. There we go. Okay. So put these off to the side. Put on the ground. And the transfers, put these off the side too. And get into the packaged box, which is good because I want to see. Oh yeah, see the inside has the nice kind of panorama shot over here. Move forward a little bit. Get the scene. Now, one thing, this is really cool. I'm assuming we're not going to get terrain for this because this terrain looks nice. One of the highlights of the Exodite book, which I'll go through when I get there, was they're talking about how to build Maiden World terrain, which I'm really excited to see because it's nice to build cool thematic boards. But again, it's kind of I don't recall because I don't play Eldar if these are like I've seen the Webway Gate. I know what that looks like, but this kind of terrain here, if it was custom built specifically for this photo shoot, but then kind of feels weird how we never see it in a retail release. But so here we go. We got the Exodite book, which we'll go through in a moment. The token sheet. Now, I did a video, I guess it was a month or two ago, about speculation of what these things are going to mean. And now that the team got revealed, I was actually pretty wrong, not surprisingly. But looking at the movement traits, these are very important. We tried playing some games with this, just proxied, and it was really tough to manage the rotation. So that's what these things are for, and they're very nice. And I guess this is the minimum 3 movement to see you can only do a pivot every X movement. So these are for, and you got your speed tokens and your base stand-ins. So it was nice to see, like, fun to speculate for a little while, like what we're gonna get, what it was like, and how it ended up. But that was just funny. So I'll put this also on the ground for now. And this is the assembly guide, and pull this out. What is this? This is cool, whatever this is. Is this the ops folder? What is this? Okay, so this is an empty envelope. I'm assuming this is for storing in between campaigns your materials. Okay, there's 3 envelopes. So yeah, so there's one for each of the characters in the campaign. I'm assuming that's what this is for. We'll get to there. Yeah. These are 3 empty envelopes. And they're one each of the character logos on it, the Clan Blade, the Stone Singer, and the Lace Stalker. I'm assuming it's for putting your upgrade points in between games in the campaign, but we'll get there when we get there. It's just funny how they gave us these and didn't put them on the box. Assembly guide and the card decks. So here should be 3. See the encounters, the Exodite kill team, and where are the orc cards? Probably share a box. Empty cardboard. Yeah, it's just they share the decks over here. So I'll put these off to the side. Put this over here. Actually, I'm gonna keep this box for now for painting inspiration. There. and quickly flip to the assembly guide. Now, this does include, it's a pretty thick one because you have a lot of MPOs, but we'll quickly flip through it and see. Now, I'm kind of tossing up if I want to do the alternate build, or want to do some sub-assemblies for painting the riders. I know Mizu's big on that, but I'm not a big sub-assembly guy. It takes too much time. Yeah, I can see here. So this includes the double assembly guide for 40k and strike and the kill team. Now, I should pull this finger again. Now, obviously, there's no rules for the kill team, so if you build any of these, your kit is basically cooked. I mean, I guess assume if you build one of the Dragon Knights, you can say that's your leader, but just too big. Like, any of the stances where they're holding a lance, you're not going to fit them in any of the kill team terrain sets, aside from maybe Into the Dark. Just the weapon lists. Some interchangeable parts. I guess you have different head options for the necks. Yeah, so you can, over here, looks like you can change up the neck. So if you get a whole bunch of these, you can make them lean in different directions, which is cool, which is nice. For someone who's built a decent amount of the Krieg Death Riders, I would kind of wish I had this option. Now, I think most of the Krieg Death Rider heads are kind of interchangeable. I didn't want to risk it when I was building my sets, but it's nice that there's officially supported, like, no issue. Just pick a neck and you can switch between them, which is good, especially if you want to field a lot of these different crests, I guess, for the heads. And claws are also interchangeable. That's really good. So whoever designed this, like, this is 10 of 10 design, because you can build a whole bunch of these in different configurations of necks, heads, and arms, and they won't look very similar, which is a very, very good thing to have. Clan Blade, simply just build the things over here. The head. And there's the Waystalker. And then those Dracolettes are like in 3 pieces. It's pretty good. Now, I'll quickly flip through. I'll skip the 40k assembly because I'm not going to be using these in 40k yet. And check out the MPOs. Yeah, so there's the Beast Snag a Knob. Just all the boys. Again, I guess this requires a bit more context. The knob on Smash a Squig. So I don't play orcs, so all the names of these orc things make me laugh when I see them. Yeah, this is kind of standard fare. I'll get back to this, I think, if I need to, going through the Exodite book. But yeah, that's your assembly guide. Yeah, nothing crazy. The surprising thing for me was that when they announced that it was going to be a dual build kit for 40k, that they didn't give any of the options for the dual build kit in the kill team, which I figure would be something. They usually do that. Like, you sometimes are allowed to have regular warriors, but it really kind of makes us a hard lock team, which makes us, I guess, very efficient because you have no options, so you don't have to get any second copies of the kits. You're locked in. Whatever you have, your customization is purely just what skill points you pick in your game, which I guess is kind of a up and downside. But for me, I figured having a Dragon Knight as a warrior option would be cool, but I'm not the Kill Team Studio, so that's how it was. So put this off the side for now, and we'll get into the meat and potatoes, which is going to be the Kill Team Exodite book. Now, first thing to notice, this thing is a nice hardcover book. Has a nice kind of gold foiling up on the spine. And this is cool. Definitely this is kind of the selling point of this. Everything is going to be available separate later. Obviously, the MPOs are available separately already to buy now. They're going to release the Exodites Dragon Master's Kill Team in probably 3 months as a single box. So really the only thing that you missed if you didn't get this box is this book right here. And I'm hoping they do release this book eventually in some form, because this is the first time Exodites are getting kind of a kit ever. And they're definitely one of the fan favorites in terms of factions, quote unquote, in the setting. So having this be available only in a limited print like this, forever, like gone forever, is going to be really, really, really not fun. But I mean, I'm sure people will be able to get their hands on this book somehow. But that's kind of why I was so interested in getting this, because I saw this nice hardcover book with the extra stuff in it, and I was kind of sold on it instantly. So I'll go through real quick. I should double check to make sure. 9 times out of 10, there's probably no code for this, right? Whenever I do unboxings for codex and stuff, I always make sure that I don't show the code if there's a redeem code. But no, figured, because it's not for that. But let's go through the Exodite dossier. So here we go through the contents. Cringe finger incoming. We'll move this over here. So we got the information about the Maiden World of Sif, the information about the Exite Dragon Masters Kill Team, your Maiden Worlds. This is like building your own Maiden World terrain, which is pretty cool. Oh, sorry, this is the lore. So lore about Exite Dragon Masters, your Maiden Worlds, which is like your building your stuff, the actual Kill Team rules, and the mission pack. And they have it on the kind of the index over here. So interesting how they kind of split the index like this. But yeah, so if you want to go right to the Kill Team rules over here. But I mean, 9 times out of 10, the app is great for this, especially to keep it up to date. So go right here. I'm not going to read word for word on this because it would take too long to go through. But actually, I kind of might because, again, this is the first big dump of Eldar Exodite lore we've had. So again, this nice, awesome 2-page spread. Yeah, the only thing I know about Exodites is they appear in the opening scene of what's the novel? Infinite and Divine. Trazyn attacks at Eldar Maiden World in the opening. So Sif. So I quickly flip through. This is just talking about the history of Exodites for here. What Sif is the Maiden World specifically. Nothing crazy here. It's lore stuff. Yeah, I'm not going to read this cover to cover. Unfortunately, I just don't have time for that. But again, this is unfortunate. This is going to be available only so far in this book right here. I kind of wish this was more available in other places, but I'm sure this will be scanned and uploaded at some point. Or if we get a full Exodites range, this is probably going to be in addition to the Eldari Codex. Yeah, so it's a Sif. This is the attack by the Beast Negas. This is the narrative portion, so this is written like a novel. Just the lore of the Exodite Dragon Masters. Now, I think there's supposed to be a picture here of what the clans look like. This is the kind of what I want to stick on for a bit because I still don't know what I want to pick for my paint scheme yet. Yes, the Dragon Masters. Moonstone Triad. Oh, it's talking about the they ride the dinosaurs hashtag or the Drake Steeds. So you got Red Maws, got the Venom Crests. I'm curious about if the options for the head include that. So everything's gonna be a Red Maw. So it looks like if you build them for Kill Team, they are Red Maws. So hold the side by side. So yeah, if you build them for Kill Team, they're Red Maws, looking at the shape of the skulls. But then if you build them for 40k, the Dragon Knights, it looks like they're actually Venom Crests. They definitely have a distinct shape of head, which is interesting. Which is cool, I guess. Just a little. Just talking about how venomous they are. Not really shown in the rules. I guess at some point we might get that for 40k, but. And then there's the bonding rituals and the Dracolites. Oh, here's the bookmark ribbon. It's nice. So yeah, there's the Clan Blade, Stone Singer, Laystalker, Dracolites. Kind of the illustrations of what you're going to play for the kill team. Now, the cool part is these are very nice photographs of them. Good for getting a painting inspiration. And this is more novel stuff. The World Spirits. This is like the giants. Again, like I don't. I'm of two minds. Terrain, like official terrain for 40k is very expensive, and also like the fortification terrain type has always been kind of bad. So I kind of want to see these released, but I don't want them to be like fortifications because then they're kind of a waste of a datasheet slot. But we'll see. Yeah, this is the nodes of the World Spirits. See, like this is the Dragon Knight paint scheme is more blue. is talking about deploying other planets. See, I'm going to sit down off camera and then just kind of like cover to cover this because this is a lot of interesting lore stuff. Okay, here's the Exodites. This is the stuff. We have 6 named clans over here. That's along Harlequins. Notice that. There is Exile Moon, Sun Serpent, Sacred Claw, Sable Wing, Three Sorrows, and the Ghost Stag. So actually, I'll do these block by block because this is going to be kind of interesting for what I want to pick. Yeah, I'll give you. This is the page that I saw scanned online, and all these schemes look so nice. I don't know what scheme I want. A little bit kind of meh on between these two because they're very similar. Maybe Sable Wing. I don't have like a main green army. I have a lot of black armies, so I'm probably not going to do Ghost Stag. I'm leaning on Sable Wing, but we'll see. Oh, they have like the armor. Like this is so nice. Like codexes used to have a lot of this stuff in it when they're more lore focused. It didn't show any of the paint schemes. I guess I'm gonna assume. What's the one that they have on the box? There might be a gallery later in the book because again, it's like weird how of the 4 of the 6 they have 4 pictured here, and then these 2 they don't. It might be that this is the Exiled Moon. Yeah, so this is the Exiled Moon up here. So the Dragon Knights paint scheme is that one, and then the one that was for the box for the kill team is the Sun Serpent. But it's kind of funny. At least they give all the named clans have a paint scheme that's visible. You can look up. This is yeah, talking about the different colors of the scales. So I'm curious about the Sable Wing. The Stone Singers of the Sable Wing see the world spirit as a harmony not only for themselves but for the whole galaxy. The clan seeds new worlds with psychocrystalline menhirs and attempts to awaken such planets' primitive spirits, as well as purging them of alien presence. To the Sable Wing, the peace of death is a noble ideal, and they view the animation of wraithbone constructs with the souls of the dead, a practice of many craft worlds, as abhorrent necromancy. Oh, interesting. So for me, I have not built an Elder Army yet. One of my favorite things about the Elder Army is the Wraith constructs. So it's interesting these guys actually don't like that, because if I were to build an Elder Army and try to like splash them in, it would be kind of like clashing in terms of lore. That's interesting. Maybe I'll have a very separate force. I'll have a very dedicated Exodite army and then a different Elder Army at some point. So 3-star Soros. These guys work with the yeah. So what's Ghost Stag? The Dragon Knights of the Clan of the Ghost Stag are exceptionally active, hunting across a swathe of the galaxy. Like phantoms, they slip from webway gates to attack alien strongholds and recover ancient artifacts that they consider inheritance from their species' fallen empire. The clan relies on advanced scouts to open twilight paths and stone singers to shroud the portals they use, allowing them to attack their prey like vengeful spirits before vanishing. Yeah, so they're more like a stealthy type. Interesting. I always love black schemes. It sucks. I have so many black armies. I don't want to build like another black army, but black is such a sick color. And these ones they have very similar color schemes aside from the colors of their tassels and stuff. But flip past that. The war gear. And this is another big section. The Maiden World provides terrain building and painting guides to help bring your Maiden World kill zone to life. So I'm curious what this is going to look like, because this is going to be. Oh, is this the? No, wait, maybe. I don't recognize this kit. Maybe a special custom built kit. Definitely not the Big Ed Boss bunker, because I recognize that. But you'll see over here. Oh wow! Look at this custom terrain building guides. Below is a step-by-step guide to creating a scattered terrain that provides the abundant vegetation you might expect to encounter on an Exodite world. Base sizes for heavy and light terrain can be found on page 72. Oh, okay, cool. So, yeah, this is just take some rocks, and by rocks I mean okay the reflection's a little bit iffy here. Yeah, bits of dense foam, cut them into tough rock. Foam rocks to the base. Take branches and sticks. Some sand, small rocks and dirt. Undercoat. Yeah. Oh, I didn't even see this. I'll hold this right up to the camera. This is very, very funny. Okay, one second. I'll put the finger on what I'm trying to emphasize over here. Over here. Please note, Games Workshop bears no responsibility for any non-Games Workshop products or materials used in your process. Please ensure when selecting products or materials in your build that you consider who will use your project and how they will use it. Then seek out appropriate materials from a reputable supplier to ensure safety. That's funny. I've never seen that before. I think the last guy that had this, there was the for Blood and Zeal making the statue. You can convert the statue into like a more chaos defiled one. But yeah, this is like making stuff from scratch. So this is pretty funny. They have that disclaimer there. So making some light terrain. So interesting. I might have to go back. So if obviously they didn't include any terrain in this kit, and if they're saying this is going to be scattered terrain for the campaign kill zones, it's actually going to be really hard to play these until they make some matching terrain for it. So that's funny. Oh, building the spirit stills. Okay, so this is interesting. Building a large spirit stele. The small spirit stele use a similar process for guidance to the images. So this is like a cutout template. This is a plastic card, I'm guessing? Oh, they have a digital scan. So there we go. So the ones that were used in the photos, you can actually scan this and then get the templates to do it. That's so cool. You know what? So instead of making all this from scratch, I'm hoping someone does a 3D printable STL for this because I would like just to 3D print these things and then paint it up like that as opposed to having to make these. Okay, so for guidance, trace the templates, cut out the shapes, fix the triangles, pick a straw. Interesting. Back face of the straw at a 45-degree angle. Make the bottom. Assemble it. Make a box. You can use the templates provided download scan code. Many viable materials to build from, including paper, paper straws, cardboard cereal box, and plastic card. Yeah, so people are saying how to make your own stuff. GW doesn't make these kind of tutorials or templates anymore. Well, there you go. Kind of a throwback to the old deodorant tank, I guess. Oh, look at this. Yeah, so this is the seal pillar and the trail stone. These look so cool. Yeah, I'm of two minds. I would have loved to have this be an official terrain kit for sale, included in the box. But knowing the price of what Games Workshop prices their terrain at, it would have just blown the price of this box out of proportion. It'd be easily like a $300 box with this terrain included. So yeah, I'm just hoping people make this into a 3D printable STL because I would love to print these just to put them in things. These are cool. Yeah, on the basis. Yeah, when we get to the missions, we'll look and see what that looks like. The Nexoliths. And look, that's their finished product. Yeah, these look so cool. Again, I don't, because these are engraved. I'm trying to look and see. I see the little borders of the paper over here. So it looks like these are actually built by hand. Because there's the little parts where you see the fibers of the paper. So I guess they actually followed their own tutorials to build these. I'm curious because there's the engravings on this one. But obviously they have all the resources and time to make these look perfect. So that's cool. Oh, the painting guide for the architecture. Oh, that's so nice. See this the strip over here. Okay, so they do the paint strip for the bronze on the side. And yeah, this is freehand the runes. Yeah, freehand to carefully paint freehand Exodite symbols. Yeah. Cool. Anyway, this is amazing. Again, really, really big shame that this is going to be only available in this book, in this box, as far as we're aware of. Hope it gets sold individually at some point later, or they put this into some sort of codex. But it's cool. Again, freehanding marble. This is actually a good tutorial too. I do a lot of like the baby wipe stuff for printing or for painting marble, but doing a freehand style and then a GW style would be nice to have the tutorial for. So that's there. Ah, okay, this is what it was. So this how was this orc totem made? It's from Age of Sigmar. The boss rock tower kit from Age of Sigmar has been used for orc scrap. Okay, so it is an official GW kit, just not one from 40k. But again, it's more like coffee stirs, chains. You have to make the sign. Again, this is an amazing tutorial section. I don't have a White Dwarf subscription anymore, so I don't look through it. I'm assuming they put these in White Dwarf every once in a while, but again, like these look so nice. Like little foam block footprints. That's cool. And you get some photo galleries, what it looks like. Yeah, this is nice. If this was not engraved, whoever did the painting, they definitely sold the illusion of depth by edge highlighting outside of the ruins. But no, this looks great. Kill team rules. We're gonna kind of skip over this a little bit because this is covered basically by people who are more experienced than me. Uh, can you roll a crit? Big one. Just watch his video on this stuff because he's better opinion, more informed than I could ever be. Here and again, also if there's any changes to the team via balance or rules correction, this section of the book is going to be moot anyway. So that's fine. Flip through here. All this stuff is available for free on the app. There's the sprint templates, pivot template. So I'm actually curious to see how if they show an example of the pivot template. Yes. Okay. This is important. I'm assuming this is in the app. I haven't checked this portion of the app, but operative cannot move sideways or diagonal. Oh, actually, that I was not aware of. So you must move forward with this. So measuring 1 to 3 inch moves, align the base on the marker, 4 to 6 inches. You can do front to back. So he flips it over. Using the 1 to 3 sprint template, place it around the front, forward or backwards until you do the distance. To reverse. This is important. This is what we've been playing wrong. We tried a couple demo games with this team just now that we knew the rules. Not having these templates definitely made it very difficult. Now, this is fully explained. So everything about this makes it perfect. We should not be making more rules mistakes, but we're probably going to. But yeah, this is good enough. I'll read this later, be a bit more familiar. Also some Q&A. Again, I guess this was in the app. I didn't really read it. I was just kind of going in blind. So you can pick. This is the visibility. I know people are complaining about this. Terrain or things stop you from pivoting. Most things are ignored. You can freely pivot. Terrain things. If all parts prevent model from moving, just ignore them during the move. You can never be in a smoke grenade. That's important. You are affected by razor wire. You cannot teleport. Okay. If someone does teleport and you're on a pad, you get kicked off of it. Oh, in a descent kill zone. Can a mounted operative use entry markers? Yeah, you can go in there. That's fine. There's the Beta Decima thing. I think Musi and I were joking about that. So yeah, don't play these guys on Beta Decima. That's funny how they got like a little carve out for that. Didn't want to take a bit too long on the rules. And then the mission pack. So this is the Exodite mission pack. This is what I was curious about because this mission campaign system is I think it says 10 missions. It's either 10 or 20 missions. 20 missions, yeah. So it's very big. And see here. So this is the footprints. So again, they didn't include the terrain here. So to play this kind of properly, quote unquote, you're gonna have to make some terrain. So that's gonna. I was thinking of trying to get some MPO gameplay on the channel, but now I'll have to spend basically a couple of weeks building some terrain for this. So big of a womp womp there. Again, it would be nice to build like some terrain just as a fun project anyway, but yeah. So here, okay. Campaign progress, numerous missions, path through the campaign to avoid spoilers. I'm not going to go through all the things because I don't want to spoil it. There's an introductory mission, mission 1, campaign progress, terrain. Each mission shows the mission pack with heavy and light terrain. You're not required to use a specific kill zone. Use one from your collection or create your own. You can build your own main world on these pages for the tutorial. Okay. Does not appeal to you. The footprint and terrain mission packs are similar to those found in Common Kill Zone. For example, this is a good proxy setup. Okay. The larger heavy terrain has a similar footprint to the smaller stronghold of 2 combined large ruins from Volcus. 1 large ruin from Volcus, or 1 ramshackle wall from Arcterius. You can combine them both using existing terrain to make a... Okay, so there's kind of some proxy options, I guess, which is nice if you have a large collection already. But there we go. That's cool. You're using specifically, unlike other ones, you can kind of sub in the kill teams, but specifically use the Exodite Dragon Masters for this. Makes sense. The stash rules back from the old edition. MPOs, phase, orc events, threat principles, difficulty for custom mode. There's an upkeep step. See battle scars, upgrades. This is more like for the narrative stuff. Very cool. And then here are the D12, or I guess 2D6 for your MPOs. Yeah, I'm not going to dwell too long on this part because MPOs, mission maps. Oh, and then there is a specific custom beast MPO. The mounted rules. Yeah, for this can't do normal movements. There's a custom beast. Okay, interesting. So, no Dracolites. And see they have the picture of the terrain. Okay, so that's I'm not going to go spoil all the missions. Do an experience this kind of for myself at some point. But again, 20. Where's the? I guess after this, it shows how the campaign progress goes. Control, upgrades. If you won or drew mission 2, if lost. Okay, so they're not chained with a diagram, I guess. But there you go. You got 20 missions, which is a very, very large set of campaign missions. And the epilogue, it's showing how you won. Okay. There's an appendix over here. Oh, the beast boss in Squigosaur is an optional boss. Interesting. Cool. So this is not normally inside of the... Wait, I guess it's not included in the box, right? Am I going crazy? No, it's Squigosaur, not a... Can curse my lack of orc knowledge. No, definitely not. This is like the Nightbringer. Optional. 40 freaking wood. Okay, there we go. So that was the end, I guess, of the first portion. So what I'm going to do is I'm quickly take a short break. I'm going to switch over to hobby mode, and we'll get right into building these guys. And we'll see you in a few minutes. Sorry, just getting ready over here. Sit back down. Switch the camera back over. And I think we're gonna pull it a little bit more forward like this. Leg jump scare. Enjoy my camo shorts. It's a nice hot summer day right now, so that's how it is. Okay, so we back. And since we back, we'll go to the assembly guide. I was thinking actually I might put it to poll. I'll poll it and see on the channel what clan I should go with. Maybe that'll be funny. But I'll do some scanning of the book. So I'm only going to be building 3 of these. And all of the arm sets. Okay. I see why it's arranged like this. It definitely is arranged in a logical way. Just in terms of the flow of building through it. Definitely not. Okay, so I want to quickly turn on some tunes. I forgot something. Okay. Like this. Please output the right thing. Awesome. Okay. Don't want to accidentally play some the copyright stuff from my normal Spotify soundtrack. So yeah, I'll get the normal things to the way first, and then I'll muck about with the ants later. Okay, well, first of all, this is an orc sprue. Helps if you grab the right sprues. Okay, so these are the sprues I actually need over here. 5. That's the first body part over here. And I guess one thing I want to be interested in checking out is the mold lines. This is 5. 4 over here. Feels kind of silly to say this, but again, it's the parallelization of all the options they give you is great. But if you're indecisive, you're wasting a lot of time thinking what you want to do. So body, and then number 6 is the tail. Where's my 10, 6? Okay. Here, going through, do a bit of cleaning up. So let's not mangle anything in particular. This one I think had the biggest burrs left over. Yeah. Now the way that the GW does sprues nowadays, like 9 times out of 10, this spot is going to be where the rider's going to sit anyway. So I don't need to spend too much time cleaning it up, but my philosophy is that if I don't, and then it comes to the building portion, or the painting portion, and then I forgot like a mold line or something, I can't really scrape it off at the painting phase. So I'm a little paranoid. I was going to do my cleanup and then just hope. It also helps if it blocks parts from fitting together too, then you get like gaps and stuff. Again, it's not really a perfect way to handle the situation, I think. Okay, this one definitely was a nub up here. And I see there's a mold line on the satchel. Now the way they have it is that you can kind of treat it like a wrinkle in the fabric, but definitely up here, this connection point needs a bit of work. Sand that down a little bit. Not a massive thing, because again, leather's a bit rough, so if you... As far as I'm aware of, it's not like space leather that the Exodites use, so you can keep it a little bit messy. In between like primer layers of paint and layers of paint on top, you can kind of get away with a little bit of cheating. Where else was the connections on this? This big one down here. And one down here. Yeah, thanks to everyone who popped by the stream so far for the beginning portion. If you want to follow me, just streaming on Twitch, YouTube, on Blue Sky, and Twitter, just give me a follow. It'd be awesome. Stay in touch. I post schedules every week. Try to do at least 3 streams a week. Mostly Kill Team content. Working through the Armageddon box right now, though this is going to interrupt that. And then later in the fall, I'll be dipping a bit into Gundam Assemble. So stay tuned for that if you're interested. So nubs down here. So a little bit of smoothing. Again, like a little roughness on the scales too, especially it's the under view. Not that big of a deal. It's only if you're like me and hold it really close to your face and you're constantly trying to make it perfectly smooth. But I think it's a psychosis that I'm affected with. Okay, so that's the first part. Now let's test this with a dry fit and see if I'm good. Okay, well, first of all, helps not be incompetent. Okay, so that's the fit on the body. And the tail fits in after like this. So I don't have to worry about gluing everything. I should kind of do, actually. Okay. So if I put the tail in like that first. Okay, I'll do the tail first so I don't have to worry about it mixing up anything else later. Always do the dry fit, especially on kits that you're not familiar with. Because if you make a mistake and it's glued too well, you're going to be in a rough time trying to separate it to fix it. I made the mistake a lot of time in my career between Gunpla kits, getting overconfident, or missing instructions on Games Workshop kits, so... But... Here. Squeeze that gap in. Don't think it's going to be a visible gap, but again, it's under the tail too, so... See over here. Okay, now this part is glued on. I can just do the other part. Again, my go-to is Tamiya Extra Thin Cement because you can just use this thing for everything. Dissolving small mold lines, really small gap filling, like it does everything. Except for put the pieces in the right spot. That's one thing it doesn't do for you, but everything else it basically does. Is a bit flowy though. to be aware of that. Okay. So back here, gonna have to push this in. This is an interesting gap. I guess the rider's gonna block most of it, but just by looking at it via my eyes, that's a pretty big gap. But I'll see as it gets closer to the end of the building step. Let's pressure everything together. A little bit over here. Should be fine. Minor gap filling. Okay, that's the body done. And the legs. So it's 15, 16, 17 over here. That's not sprue I'm working on. This is 11, 10. The leg's not on the sprue? Interesting. 15. Yeah, interesting. I guess the legs aren't on the sprue. Alright, I'm not going crazy. Yeah, no, same step. Okay, cool. When is an option, I've noticed that the sprues are arranged kind of logically, where all the parts are next to each other. But I guess on weird, complicated sprues like this, they just have to separate it for the molds. Okay. And there's a 17 joint for this one, which is here. So yeah, interesting there's no head option, but makes sense, I guess. This is the full leg. Make sure that's carved out so it can fit. And the knee over here. Smooth that out. Bit of mold lines underneath as well. And a little bit under the foot over here. Okay. I think we're good. Let's dry fit this. Okay, first of all, it's definitely the wrong spot. Up here, right? Yeah. Perfect fit. Get that glued in. Yeah, again, the benefit of the Tamiya Extra Thin is that it doesn't melt details, so you can just slather it all over models. And 9 times out of 10, you won't melt anything that's important, which is good. Because if you started, like, if your first ever glue that you work with was the Citadel stuff, you may have noticed that if you spill a little bit of it, you just melt so many details, and it does suck. It is not a bad product, aside from, I mean, the price is a bit pricier than what you expect, but it has its uses. I love using it for big chunky pieces like terrain, just because the hold is so good. But there's a little bit of a gap underneath the model too. Let's see if I can smooth fill that in. But yeah, just not having to worry the fear of spilling it and then it's totally melting a model to oblivion. Not really present with the Tamiya Extra Thin. Okay, so that's the body done over here. I'm looking at how the rider's mounted on this. Do you want to sub-assemble the rider or not? It's only a 5 model kit. Yeah, maybe I'll do it. Because it sits on there. But does he have to go on before the satchel? I'll try fit it and see, because if I can fit the satchel before putting him, then yes. If not, it can be a pain. That adds an extra sub-assembly step. So, well, roll with it for now and see how it goes. Clean up over here, a little knee area. Oh, I played my first game in my current Kill Team League. And I was playing Murder Wings. I didn't want to be another dinosaur player. Turns out that actually the only other dinosaur player in the league is Mizu. So I missed my chance there. But yeah, my first match was against Mandrakes, which was the team I was waffling between. And I got absolutely destroyed. It was just... made a lot of bad choices. The map wasn't in my favor. Tomb World 4 with Murder Wing, very tough map to play on. So I got rocked. But I've learned from my mistakes. And because it's Swiss pairings, I'll be paired against someone else who lost the game, hopefully. So my round 2s should be easier. I might be able to do like a loser bracket run. Just come up 3-1 from the bottom. But we'll see. I got more Blood Bowl. I got my other Blood Bowl game coming up this week too. So a lot of minis games going for me, which is nice. Okay, and foot of this over here. Interesting placement for the connector. Like tear it off there. Alright, let's see how this fits. It's a very tiny spot. Again, thankfully, not much tactical rocks, just tactical dirt. So, good options if you want to do custom basing for these guys, which I think is nice. I think they realize that it's a really big pain if you have to constantly carve out all the feet from your models, which is good. Still angry for my Kroot and my Vespids, though, that I have to constantly carve out. Just hours of carving out feet. And meanwhile, they know it's like not a problem. They know it's a thing because all the Space Marine tactical rocks are basically optional. So even to, I think, the Mandrakes, some of the Eldari ones also were kind of optional too. So I don't know. Maybe it's specifically a Tau auxiliary problem. But either way. Okay, so we're solid. And looking at the placing. Yeah, it's going to be important to make sure I glue these guys in a manner that's good for balancing them, because I don't want them to be overhanging too much or at all if possible. Just because the visibility rules for Kill Team are kind of weird like that. I'm hoping they fix that in the new edition. I think if we went from pure base to base for all measurements, then I think a lot of the problems would be solved. But that's how it goes. Okay, yeah, there we go. So the body's done. And I'll pick a neck. I think for the sake of... I'll do reverse order for the neck. So I'll do 21 as the neck. 18, 20... Here... 19... The next 21 is hidden. 21, here we go. Don't need to clean this up too much because the head's going on it, so just needs to be smooth enough where there's no gap. Let's check the back over here. Same thing, just carve up the nub a little bit so it fits flush. Okay, and do this backwards. There we go. Okay. Oh, it fits nicely in there. Again, phenomenal that we have this as an option. I'm hoping that in the future more cavalry has this, just because being able to make different poses. Fit you before. How come we're not fitting now? There we go. Okay. Yeah, it's just nice to have this as an option because, again, since this is also a regular infantry kit for 40k, you want to be able to have much different poses. I don't know if the new Riders of Rohan have this as a feature. I'm assuming they do. Or like the old world cavalry, but it's good that GW is understanding. Okay, and for the arms, I won't do it. Just do everything in reverse order. So the chest plate, I'll do is chest plate 40. Just so if I build a second set of these in the future, and I forget what I did, I can just... This is 39. I can do a normal order and have it look different. So that's 39. No. It's 38. My blinds. 40 over here. Okay. Here, down. So I'm curious if other people have been having issues against these guys in Kill Team. I think there's some... Oh, did I drop the bit? Where'd it go? Oh, here it is. Fell off my finger. Their movement is very finicky, but again, it's just... Okay, over here. I'm wondering if we've been playing it wrong, because I think looking at that whole... like the movement rules they have are their own like whole movement rules section. It feels like that if they were to give mounted units like a rule set in Kill Team for different factions, like Cerberus Raiders or whatever, like I think that would be the generic mounted movement rules. Like it feels like this is an expansion, like Kill Team Elites or whatever from the previous edition, but it was instead just the one team got it. Because it is a whole rules block on its own just for one team, which is like kind of a lot. Okay, for the arms, let's do the reverse order arms. So we want 49, 50, 51, 52. 51. I'm of two minds. Like, I think I do miss, after playing with Nemesis Ops for a bit, I do kind of miss the list building aspect. Going from a full-size miniatures game to a skirmish one for Kill Team. But it does feel nice to have everything be so tightly focused and designed. I think it's kind of a balanced version of Nemesis Ops, maybe fully designed. Not necessarily large miniatures because they're just too big for the game, but kind of like how there was the old Kill Team Commanders expansion. Just being able to replace some operatives on your team, I think would be cool. Definitely probably wreak havoc with the balances though, but I just think some teams don't have list options. And I think it'd be cool if at least every team had a way to change stuff up a little bit. Starter set Plague Marine team, I guess maybe not, just because they're meant to be very, very introductory. But I think basically every other team should have an option to do some customization. Even if it's just as simple as being able to replace an operative for generic one. Okay, the little nib is over here. Okay, and squeeze this in here. This is definitely quote unquote the worst part of this build so far. Everything is just logical. Just little itty bits with the claws and toes. It's not bad. It's just it's tiny. Fit this in nicely over here. Down. I think definitely this bit should have had like a peg connector. Just so you know that you slotted it in right. Even a very small one, I think would have been perfect. To make sure it's in there. Yeah, it's like such a minor thing. Between the gap is so small, it should be filled in with the glue anyway. There we go. And that's this arm. If I had time, I'd be curious just to see, like, with sticky tack, just the combinations of arms and heads. what you can get. Because I think mathematically you have a lot of different combinations. Which is good. Okay, that's arm done. I didn't clip off the second finger for this arm because I knew it'd get mixed up with the other one, so. So let's see, I got 114. I think what I might do is I might just build the dinos on the stream and then do the other things off camera. In. Oh, so this is an interesting connector point. It's like through here. Oh, reversed. Okay. I can't like that. Yeah. That's the other one should have. Just a little bit to know that you slotted it in perfectly. You can fit it properly. Okay. Gonna hold this properly. I didn't get my tweezers from my other desk, so we're raw dog fitting this one. Not that hard though. I guess I have big freaking meaty fingers, so. It is a little painful that it's in between two claws though. But there you go. Just a skill issue. Yeah, it's a perfect fit. Yeah, it's gorgeous. No gap at all. So this up here though I forgot. There we go. Arm in? Yeah, look at that. Cool beans. Awesome. Do a little bit on the side too, just to make sure it's seamless. Oh, what's up here? Oh, just a nib. There we go. Perfect. Okay, so that's the dino. I actually go to the head. Forgot the head. Uh, 36, 35, and 34. And what sprue are they on? Not this one. Yeah, all in all, this the Exodite book, I'm gonna read it cover to cover. I think just it's really exciting. There's a lot of cool stuff in there, and I think we should be hyped for a future Exodites line, because it's a lot of effort put into a release for it just to be nothing in the end than these guys. So it's cool too that the normal option is the characters, and they're not named characters, so you can have more of them if you want. I think I saw a post on Twitter, someone did the math, like what is available right now. You can do 1,000 points of Exodites, assuming you just max out 3 of everything, just 3 of all the sets of characters and 3 of all the Dragon Masters, or the Dragon Knights. So I guess somehow if you make a bunch of these, acquire them or proxy them or whatever, you can have half of your army be an Exodite army. Though I don't know the detachments, I don't think you get any synergy. I think there might be a mounted detachment, but again, I don't play Eldar, so I don't know. And 35 is the tongue. It's 29. Interesting how the tongue is like a little bit. On the Crute Rampagers, it's like built into the body, so you have like a random floating tongue. But either way, that's funny. Let's get the mold lines out of the way. Okay. You have 3 connection points. At least in the mount portion of this build, the mold lines haven't been too bad, which is good. But sometimes it feels like that's kind of the benefit of getting the early run. Like as the kit is longer and longer in production, the mold just gets more and more slippery, and then you get weird stuff happening towards the end. That's pure tinfoil for me, though. But it's nice when there's not that much mold lines on your new kit. Saves building time. Okay, I'm gonna get that scraped out. Okay. Stick the tongue in there. I guess it doesn't fit on this half of the head. No, it doesn't. Okay. Got it backwards. Okay, over here. Might be a guest hobby stream on Monday, because I think Mizu needs to also get his Exodites done. So, do a double up stream. And probably no Kill Team Live, just because I got my Blood Bowl game on the usual scheduled day of the week. Okay, and back horn over here. Let's check to see the fit of the tongue. It's definitely underneath it. No, okay, above it. Alright, what am I looking at here? Okay, this weird bulb thing above. Okay, there, alright. Mystery solved. Skill issue. It is kind of interesting, the crazy amount of apart separation. They get stuff to fit in a certain way. I think I'm just slathering glue everywhere because I know basically impossible to mess it up. So there we go. Actually, this is a great fit. All the complaining, and yeah, this is actually, well, maybe I went a little bit too much on the top over here. Yeah, this is going to require actually a bit of gap filling. It's fine. Well, actually, maybe not. Bit of vicing it like this. Let's see how it looks at the end. The bottom fit perfect up, basically gap free. Yeah, I guess just the top part I may have been a little bit too aggressive with the cutting. Let's check a zoomed in photo and see if I can. Oh no, they're like separate. Interesting. Oh, either way. That's what sprue glue is for. Where's the clip? It's supposed to be like a little. So I guess on top of that, you also just have posability on the heads too for the angle. Because there's nothing stopping me from twisting the head around. There's no clipper or joint that holds it in place, so there we go. That's see how it looks. Change it up like this, I think I want. That makes it even better, actually. That improves the kit in my mind way more. I'll put a bit more glue. Just being able to rotate the head on this axis too is basically all the posability you could want between changeable arms, the head. Just look how it looks on the table. Like that. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, so I messed up a little bit of the beak on the top, but I can fill it in with some sprue glue, I think. Sand it down. No big deal. And if the head's in place. Okay, yeah, that's 1 hour 30. So probably finish most of it at the second one before I end the stream today. And again, I can pull the head off if I don't like how it looks too, so but I think this is fine. Alright, skip over to the Stone Singer. No body on this sprue. Makes sense. gotta catch up on my 40k news. I feel like I've never enough time to be on top of all the things. Also, I just pumps out videos like a madman. G-Dubs is constantly putting stuff out, so I gotta like a full-time job to be plugged in enough. But I mean, I'm hoping, my big hope, because I'm mostly a kill team player, not a 40k player. I'm hoping we get some cool new redone rules for combat patrol, because it is nice to have a nice, well-balanced, well-designed, compact game. And like Spearhead was a massive success for Age of Sigmar, so I think having that as an option for 40k would just improve the hobby massively. I think it's just like a couple, like very small, like a lot of incremental adjustments have been made edition to edition. I think like this, we're getting pretty close to peak. I think if the combat patrol rules get tightened up and are fun to play, then they'll probably be the end of it. Very hard for objective improvement to 40k from there, I think. Because the rules are so clean. If we get a bit of the sauce back, I think the sauce lost between 9 and 10th, slowly recovering going into 11th. Proper pointed war gear too, I think, would be nice. Where it makes sense. I know this. For me, the crazy thing was like building an 8 and 9th for Fire Warriors, where you could take pulse pistols, but they didn't give you 10 pulse pistols in a kit, so I was just furious. Just make those things in the data sheet, man. It's like a Fire Warrior with a pulse pistol is not gonna break the game, especially because I think they've pointed the Tau troops fairly high. It's like 90 or 100 points for a breacher squad or a strike team. So, but this is being a little silly. Get that. I think I mangled this a little bit. I think that's good. It's leather, so I'm not too worried about it being perfectly smooth. Okay. It's body part 1 done. Move over to this guy over here. Clip this up. Oh. I'm not going to do that. I felt it shifting. Almost snapped it off. Okay. here. And down there. Okay. Now for the tail. Good old Dino Tails. So smooth it over here. Very cool. Let's carve it out a little bit. And I think that was it for the connection points. Oh, no one up here. The weird scale. Okay, over here. There we go. See, I'm still mulling over the choices of the clans in my head. I don't know what I want to do. Again, the black scheme always calls to me like the Green Goblin mask, but again, I can't have so many black schemes. I also kind of want to avoid doing a red scheme too. I don't have any green. I don't know, the green scheme looks pretty interesting to me, but interesting how in the lore they're not big fans of Wraith constructs. But I mean, if I have a separate, totally separate Eldar Exodite army, then I don't have to worry about mixing them into an existing one to make them fit. So there we go. I just coated myself in solvent. So we'll see. I'll mull about it. I still got some time. This is probably a 2 or 3 paint session or build session. And I want to do some stuff with the base too, I think. And if I try hard on the riders, yeah, you know what? I'm not going to be too rushed about what I want to decide for the paint scheme. Here. How does it fit like that? Yeah. Okay, perfect. I'm kind of convinced like this just means we're getting a full Exodite range. There's so much effort put into the lore and the special sub-faction transfers. I gotta check the roadmap. I don't even know if we have one for 40k yet. But depending how soon Eldar are on the roadmap, I think that kind of makes it so you can expect the... Like, if the teaser for the Codex is just, like, Exodites, like a whole... The Kroot got their whole army range for 10th edition. If the teaser for 11th for Eldar is just the whole Exodite range, then I think it's instant quarterly earnings maxed out. Like, Games Workshop buys 20 more yachts. just going to sell so much. There we go. It's pretty good. Probably going to be gapless on the back seat. We'll see. Okay. Like, I'm not a betting guy, but I think betting into that might be the safest bet of all time. Okay, so the heads. So now I want... Second reverse head is head 20. Or, sorry, neck, I guess. Not on this sprue. 19's here. 20, here we go. And then it was for the chest emblem was 39, just over here. Quickly. Break that off a little bit. Just stick in there. I watched Stolly's review of the Warpaint's historical range, and it's kind of not really for me anyway, because I own most of the Arm Painter range on its own. I wish they were available at Hobby as singles, so I like to support my LGS by buying them. And because I own so much of the Fnatic range already, I can't justify buying any of the full boxed sets because I have half the duplicates. So I have to do some direct sales to get what I'm missing, but they reviewed pretty nicely. What I expected. It's nice to have some more greens and browns. Alright, it's the chest emblem. Cut off this head over here. Just make sure that's all scraped off. And this one over here. Okay. Smooth it out so the head joint doesn't fall off. Okay, perfect. Quick test fits. How did it fit before? Okay, it's a bit of sticking in there. It's fine. It's funny, like it's going through the Castali review the paints again, and again, they're not different formulated from the existing Fnatic range, so the same feedback will basically be there. But I just find it funny that people complain about the satin finish of the paints because they definitely don't feel that satin to me. They're definitely less matte than Pro Acryl and AK 3rd Gen, but I don't know. I varnish my stuff anyway, so the finish really does not come up. Okay, that's the neck. do foot 14, which is this one over here. I do want to try his tip though by using the stabilizer for edge highlighting, because I did notice that some of the lighter colors do dry on the brush a bit more often, but there's an included tool to fix that, and I'll make use of it. My paint schemes are pretty lazy these days. I don't do much edge highlighting, so. These guys, though, there's so little of them. Might as well do some edge highlighting. This joint's a bit of an awkward fit. Wonder if I can get it to fit smoothly. Yeah, not too bad. Do a little bit more scraping. Yeah, I mean to check out how the Necromunda players are doing, because I think this week was their new release for the new edition. I know it's been so long since they got a core, because I don't think Ash Wastes counted as a core set or a core rules update, so. And I think definitely they're going to be putting it on the 3-year edition rotation, so. Gonna expect new Necromunda cores every 3 years. Maybe they might not, but I'm trying to think of. Blood Bowl got one, and the rules basically didn't change. So maybe a bit more iterating. But Necromunda's always been like a sillier kind of narrative game, so. Okay. Some mold line over here. A little tiny mold line. There. All right, and test it now. Ah, there we go. Much better. Just a little around the sides. Perfect. So yeah, about 10 minutes left. Probably gonna finish this rider and then, or the mount, and we'll be good. Just either 2 hours or just above. Good timing. So the other foot is also just one piece, which is nice. Put 13 over here. Do you like not having to muck about with tiny toes? Okay. It's a good clean connection too, so scrapes off very nicely. The one on the top was the kneecap. Yeah. All right. And test the fits. Perfect. Again, props, this kit is very, very easy. No issues. All the gaps are perfect. I get it's that one mouth beaky bit on. Oh, that's a bit too much. Let's see if I can sponge some of it off. Yeah, with any other cement, that would have been a massive model melt, but that was not too bad. Just kind of blow it into there, push it around. Oh yeah, like aside from the one gap on the mouth, if all the mouth are going to be like that, then I'll knock that as a bit of a. But it's a very small fix with sprue goo or putty to close it up. So just sucks when kind of key, like the face is always the part your eyes are drawn to. So if the face is a little bit messed up, then it really kind of. But that's how it is. That's done. Just need some arms. So I'll go check out the arm list. So I want arm 45, 46, 47, 48. Also in two pieces. Tiny little fingers. No. And 47. And no. 48. It's 46. It's just tiny little fingers. Here, 48. Those are the two pain points. The two pain points in this kit are the gaps on the faces and the tiny little fingers on hands. Everything else is basically perfect. Okay, let's fix the tiny little nub on the hands. One benefit from working with plastic too is just that the hobby knife does everything basically. That's why like 3D printing stuff is great, resin's great, but nothing beats being able to saw something with a hobby knife made of plastic, sand it. Okay. These fingers are actually not in that bad of a spot. That one though, where it was like the in between knuckle, that was a little. Hmm. There we go. Let's try to figure this is a gapless fit over here. I think this should be good. Okay. Did he even clean up the arm? Oh, no, he did not. Okay. Okay. Check the underside. A little bit over here. And we'll butter in there. Push that in nice and perfect. And a little bit of cement on the join. All right, perfect. A little bit too on the scraping area. There we go. All right. So I do one more arm and a head, and we'll be done for this unboxing and hobby stream. So I want same sprue, right? We have 45 and 46. So this is over here. Clip these guys out. Tiny little fingers. 46. It's just so small. Clean up. And what, the head's in 3 pieces again? Yeah, head's in 3 pieces. Actually, I guess I'm kind of curious about, well, I don't know, because obviously the Dragon Masters are just a 3-band sprue. Or it's the Dragon Knights. I'm curious if we're going to be able to field them in weird amounts. Like how you can field Custodian Guard, I think, in 4s, because you can build the one Shield Captain from the kit. Obviously, I don't think so, because then you could technically have to be able to field them in squads of 1. Since you can build the 2, you can build the Clan Stalker, or the Clan Blade and the Leyland Stalker, and then leave the one body left for the Dragon Knight. Yeah, I guess that's probably not going to be a thing, but I mean, the data sheets are out for 40k, so you can fact check me if you want, but okay, that's there on the hand. And lastly, we're going to check on the claw. Tiny little finger over here. It's very small. This is definitely a part you could easily lose. I don't think you want to do that, because making a replacement would be very difficult. And, like, this isn't atrocious to build. I think the most finicky modern kit was the Canoptek Circle that I've worked with. Even then, it wasn't that bad. But I think just these little tiny individual finger joints are the worst part of this kit so far. And it's not even, like, bad. It's just annoying. Oh, do the connector up here. Okay, let's get this glued in. Oh. Should have got my grabbers. Forgetting the name of the word. Tweezers. There we go. Okay. Again, this fits just fine. It's like no gap. Just the fact that it's in two pieces is like, but no big deal. Okay, gonna we check over on Twitch. Don't I follow streaming right now? Nope. Okay. All right. And put this arm in. Stick it in the slot. Put her down there. And stick that a little bit more. Perfect. Yeah, all right. So last thing is the head, which is in 3 parts, just over 2 hours, which is good timing. Probably gonna be a fast build then. It's good. Because I want to do a bit more creative things with the bases. But okay. So I want head 31 through 33. Which is not the sprue, it looks like. Nope. Back over here. Yeah, there we go. Okay, it's also split down the middle. So I might have to do some gap filling for all 3 of the noses on these guys. Which isn't that bad. Clip over here. There you go. I've also kind of pushed the screw, these cutters a little bit too far. Do not use God hands the way I use them. If you value your nippers. So I just do not treat these correctly. It's like I carved too much off of it when I was doing it. It seems like that gap is really big for what it's supposed to be. Looking back at it now. Pretty big. Yeah, mostly complaining about nothing. It's a very small fix. I have sprue goo for that, but okay, there's that. And the other points of connection was on the bottom? Maybe this was a 1 connector. Alright, and I'll fix the mouth. same thing. Not that bad on the mold lines. So this was the one I did. Let's check it. Join. Looks like that. Yeah, okay. Get the glue in there. Get it upside down. There we go. Get it. And this is the one I gotta worry about because the bottom neck spine, I messed up the cut a little bit. So I gotta... It's gonna look a little scuffed on the final model, sadly, but it's a tiny little neck spike, so shouldn't be too bad. Yeah, a little messed up, but it's fine. Where else was the connection points? Here. Yeah, let's test fit this. Yeah, this one fits much better. Might not even need gap filling at all. So maybe I just messed up the cut on the first one, but no big deal. It'll be a learning lesson to take away from anyone who watches this building theirs. Just gonna stick this all together. Perfect. Yeah, it's like basically no gap on this one, so just a little one. I'll do a bit of more glue up to here. Squeeze in a little bit. Yeah, it's basically nothing. Okay, and I'm gonna pose the head. Over here. So I want to look for like that. Table. Just a little bit to the right, a bit more centered. Yeah, there we go. All right, there we go. So just at 2 hours and 10 minutes, went through the unboxing. Went through 2 of the 3 Dragon Masters, so that's a pretty good progress for one stream. Thanks everyone who joined me for this little fun event. Please, if you're watching on Twitch or YouTube, follow or subscribe. On social media, you can see the weekly schedules and finished pieces there. Thank you, and have a good rest of your weekend.